Hello there, YouTube. It's the Frankenstein again, and I figured I would quickly uh, save you the trouble of whisking through this video and give you what I am referring to just from the outset. The best Zara, according to me, is Zara 9.0. Now, that's not because the color of the bottle and the color of my t-shirt matches. That's just a fact. Get out of here. I'm just screwing with you. You want to find out what's the best Zara according to me? This is just my year freshener. Okay? I'm afraid if you want to find it out yourself, you need to stick around. See you when I get back with the best that Zara has to provide. After the intro. Now, before I had this particular Zara, the undisputed uh, best offering from Zara had a similarity to this fragrance. Now, it is until I owned this I could tell why people drew similarity to this, and they are pretty spot on with the similarities. But with that Zara, I'm talking about rich, warm, and addictive. You have, I get that coconut feel from it as well. Some people don't like it because they find it uber sweet, but I'm the kind of guy who loves the sweet fragrances, so that was an absolute hit for me. For the longest time, that was the best that Zara has produced, according to my humble opinion. But the Zara that I'm going to talk about today, this was a complete game changer, a revelation in its own. I think on some days, the Zara in question is in par with the rich, warm, and addictive, and on other days, like today, I can say without a shadow of doubt that it's by far the best Zara has produced. Now, I'll tell you exactly why I think so in the latter part of this video. Without any further ado, let's just address the elephant in the room. I'm talking about the latest addition in the tobacco line, Zara Unexpected, Fresh and Spicy. We'll get into the breakdown of this after the nitty-gritty of presentation. Zara fragrance comes in a cardboard box which says Tobacco Collection, Unexpected, Fresh, Spicy, the concentration, which is eau de toilette, and the size of the fragrance with Zara written here. And pretty much a simple, thin card box. Below you've got some stories of inspiration behind this fragrance, I suppose. And then you've got barcode and the batch code below. I like the way how this packet opens. You open it up from the front, just like this, and inside you've got the fragrance bottle sitting in a nice cozy podium. Neat touch. And that's how the bottle looks. And it's not difficult to piece together where they drew their inspiration for this bottle, this type of bottle. The Hugo Boss bottles are quite similar. Pardon the fragrances in the background, I'll need those for some references later on. Pretty thick glass base, and you've got Zara written in the middle, batch code below with a sticker, the cap falls in together, and the sprayer shoots a decent Mr. Juice. I like the sprayer. But the only complaint I have with this bottle is, particularly the tobacco collection, gives me the impression that these bottles are just impromptu produced from a laboratory. Looks like a lab work. Maybe changing the color would really be more appealing to me. Apart from that, it's pretty much a hit. And a food for thought would be for Zara. I don't know if they're gonna watch my video, but if for future reference, if they do, a neat trick would be to produce bottles, tester bottles like this and the actual bottle looking something different. That would really be a great marketing ploy. According to Fragrantica, this is a warm, spicy, and woody fragrance launched in 2019. I couldn't find out who the perfumer was. If you know the perfumer, please leave the name of the perfumer down in the comment section below. It has top note of cinnamon, middle note of patchouli, and base note of sandalwood. That's about it for the presentation. I've got the dry down on my hand here. I'll just spray to remind me of myself of the initial opening. That is a brilliant mist, by the way, the sprayer. Oh, this is so damn lovely. I love the opening of it. And it's really rare times when a Zara fragrance could just give you an absolute pleasure from the get-go. The only other time it got me that I got that similar feeling was from Rich, Warm, and Addictive. Anyway, onto this. This note breakdown is pretty similar as it seems. So initially you have this strong dose of cinnamon. As it dries down, the sandalwood takes over. But throughout the life of this fragrances, these are the two notes that exchanges blows it with each other. And these are the only ones that stand out to me. I don't get much of the patchouli. That's about it for the notes breakdown. But it isn't as simple as that. On paper, you might think that a fragrance that has only 3 notes is just bland and doesn't have much to offer. And that's where you're absolutely wrong, and that's where the unexpected tag is validated, because it just catches you by surprise, as it gives you vibes of an array of fragrances. Now, from the beginning, I would like to clarify one thing, that people are drawing comparison with parfums to Marley's Oajan. I can't vouch for it because it's only a handful of times that I've actually sniffed that fragrance, and I don't know how much it actually smells like that. But what I get from this is I get oud from it, surprisingly. And the type of oud that I can refer to is the oud I get from here, Dior Homme Parfum. When it dries down, I get subtle, nice, soft oud. That's the kind of oud vibes I get from this one. And also, if you take away the sweetness, the top dominant notes of the spiciness of the pink pepper and the sweetness of Victor and Rolf's Spice Bomb, the kind of spiciness that you're left with in the background, that's what it reminds me of. Furthermore, I get tobacco. The kind of tobacco it reminds me of is CK1 Shock. And that is what is really fascinating about this. I mean, with such a simple skeleton of notes breakdown, if you can achieve something like that, that reminds you of an array of fragrances, that is just ingenious to me. And that's why it is clearly the front runner as the best offering from this house, in my humble opinion. As for now, I think, as for why I think this is better than its predecessor in the tobacco collection, well, Rich, Warm, and Addictive has a clear proposition in it to be the best, as it outperforms it right away. It The performance on this is 6 hours of longevity on my skin and 2 hours of projection, but Rich, Warm and Addictive easily outruns it on that department. But when you go to the smell and the composition, and the provided that the its predecessor has more notes to play with, and this has very little, and yet it transpires and just takes you into those categories of fragrances that I just mentioned, easily makes it the best. And also about the packaging. Let me tell you about something about the packaging. That is the type of you see the type of packaging you saw for this fragrance. It only came to be after this was launched. So this just shows you the exclusivity the company wanted to offer to it, the type of belief they had on it. Whereas the previous iteration were launched in a 2-pack combo. And all of these are going for $12.99, I believe, according to their official according to their official website in Zara of £13. Sorry about that. So the price point is there, but maybe because of the smell, my vote goes to this one. My personal ratings for this fragrance. For performance, I'll give it 7, because it's not as horrible as most of the fragrances. It's not too beast mode. It's not too light. The average on performance for most Zara fragrances is 4 hours. It easily outruns that and stays on the middle category. So 7 out of 10. As for versatility, 7 as well, because I think you can only wear this in winter and autumn. Maybe on one of those colder nights, just overspray. That way it will tend to perform better. And as for the settings, it's applicable for casual wearings, casual dates, social gatherings, but not for formal occasions. This is more of your casual type of scent profile. And then you've got uniqueness and smell. For uniqueness, I won't give it much. I'll just give it 7.5 because it just takes different elements from lots of fragrances, kind of a hybrid. So that's where it suffers a bit. But still, an amalgamation of so many notes is brilliant in such a simple structure. So 7.5 for that. And as for the smell, this is where I want to give it more. For the smell, 8.5. And my overall rating for this will be 7.5. That is what I think of it. Let me know what you think of this fragrance. Comment down below about your thoughts on it. And let me know if you agree or disagree. It's always a pleasure to know about different views on fragrances. And as always, the Frankenstein has spoken.